How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing amazing, man. How are you doing?
Amazing as well. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, we either do amazingly good or amazingly bad, but I mean, we just do amazing, you know?
Exactly. That's a good one. I'm using that now.
You can have it, man. You can use it all you want.
Sweet. What do you do? Uh,
Um, well, I do all kinds of stuff. Professionally, you mean? What do I do?
yes.
I I run a construction and handyman business. Yeah. So anyway, now I run a construction and a handyman company. A little bit about me first. My name is Jeff Roberts. I'm 48 years old, and I'm a survivor of all kinds of trauma, more than a survivor of those traumas. And that's where I belong.
Forever.
Yeah, so trying to get people to transition from the victim to survivor to a thriver mentality has been, kind of ingrained a little passion of mine. But it's when I asked you last night when I was talking to you, what's the biggest obstacle that you have in trying to transform people?
Yeah.
And you said getting people to do what you say.
Exactly. It's like you can be depressed, but you still have to get up and get done.
Yeah, I've adopted this new so what attitude. I mean, so you're depressed, so what? You were in a car wreck, so what? Your life sucks, so what? So the question is, so what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? I mean,
Exactly.
are you going to cry about it or are you going to change it? I mean, that's a hard truth that people don't like to hear. Um,
It's the only truth. Have to change your life. You have to change your mindset.
Absolutely. If I were to tell you exactly that 2 years ago, okay, let me back up. Um, I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship with my daughter's mother for approximately 20 years. Five, almost 6 years ago, I had an ischemic stroke, which left me right side paralyzed at the time. Somehow, by the grace of God and through modern and miracle science, I got most of my faculties back. I do suffer from that right there. I suffer from a little aphasia sometimes,
Uh,
but
Impatient weakness in your red side.
no, I've got most of it back,
Yeah,
most of all of it back. But
I'm not talking about fully. Weakness just means it's partially there, but not as much as the left side.
right, and
It's
so for me,
opposite for me.
oh shit. So for me, I got super duper. Um, well, every brain injury is different. Nobody recovers the
Exactly.
same, and so we can't judge, our recoveries based on that. And that's the biggest hurdle I found when trying to help people overcome that. So if I were to tell you that, 2 years ago I was homeless, strung out on methamphetamines, wanted to die, didn't care if I had another stroke, living in an RV on the streets of Los Angeles, and I found my daughter's mom dead of a fentanyl overdose. Um, and that's when I decided to change my mindset about life and about everything.
That's
So
horrible.
it was the best day. Worst. It was one of the worst, but the best day of my life. Um, so finding her dead was kind of like, yeah. Uh, well, I mean, there's so many connotations behind it, but anyway, it was kind of like when the shackles broke, I didn't stick around to play with them. So like in the
Yeah.
last 2 years, I systematically broke myself down and learn how to think outside the box, learn how to think more than I am. Think big, think so big, dream big.
If
And
your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough.
fuck yeah, they're not big enough. I mean, if
Mhm.
you so like I was telling you, I do one thing. I started adopting a change me attitude, right? I would literally pray in the morning or when I get in the shower, I would just say to the universe, change me. Change me into one that you want me to use, change my frequency, change my vibe, change my cells, change me functionally who I am. And learning how, I had a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, teach me that if you change your language, you change your narrative, right? So if you change the way you talk to yourself and to other people, you will change your life. You don't have a choice. You will change your life. It,
Exactly. Language is powerful. There's a reason that people say the tongue is mightier than the sword.
yes, yes, you can build kingdoms, or what I mean, you can build lives or destroy kingdoms with tongues. I mean, the Bible, however you want it, is full of parables
The,
on
I was just reading this morning that the tongue has the power of life and death, and it's the one beast man has not been able to conquer.
No, I believe you. I believe in this. So I adopted this weird. It's weird to a lot of people. It's not weird to me. I call it a 77% lifestyle. 77%. I keep it everything 77. I don't like anybody that says they keep it 100 because they're fucking lying. You
Yeah,
know. So if I think that if I can keep it 77%, then I'm pretty doing pretty good. First of all, somebody has at least two secrets are going to take to the grave, and I don't care what it is. Um, they're not going to tell anybody, not even their mama, not even Jesus, and I
but
believe that,
Jesus already knows, right?
right? So you can't hide from the big guy. But
Exactly.
but the people that say they keep it 100 most assuredly don't. And I
Those
equivalent
are
it like
often the most fake people.
I equivalent it like this: if you're charging your phone and it reaches 100, what do? You unplug it, right? You're done. If you reach the top of the mountain, what do? You reach the pinnacle, you reach the top. You're not going any higher. You're only going to go down. So at 77%, it always keeps me wanting to strive more, to do more, to be better. I always gives me 23 because I believe in numbers, man. I'm real weird. I like numbers. 23 is a constant number running through, my wife now. Her birthday's on the 23rd. We got married on the 23rd. You know what I mean? There's so many 23s, so many 77s, and I just look for these numbers, as weird as it sounds.
And
All of them.
it's especially powerful when you look back at the number 7 in the Bible, and that number signifies completeness. Like you're a complete person, but you still have room to grow.
Everybody has room to grow, man. Everybody has room to grow. But you just have to be able to be brave enough to go find it inside of yourself to want to grow. You have to be brave enough to forgive yourself for everything you did in the past. You have to be kind to yourself. You have to be gentle to yourself. I mean, you have to be able to learn to love yourself as God loves you, if that's how you want to put it. If when you can look at yourself and just say, I'm fucking perfect, no matter where I'm at, whether I got a twisted arm, a messed up hand, whether I got paralyzed side, but you're exactly where you're supposed to be today. And
Amen.
you can't argue with the divine plan. You can't. You can fight it. You can fight it all you want, man. You can fight that shit and you can keep fighting and you can screaming tooth and nail, and in the end, if you don't just succumb to it, see, when you're just like, I get it. Just take me, okay? Just use me however you want to use me. I'm gonna do whatever I'm gonna do, and life gets interesting. Life gets so much better when you just
Yes.
become that yes man. Like I was saying, you want to go on air travel? Yes. You want to go? Yes. Do you know? Do you want to live a better life? Yes. How do you do that? How exactly? What's the recipe for living a better life? That's what people ask me. What is the recipe? How do you put it together?
Giving
Change me.
yourself over to God.
Well, to a higher power, something greater than yourself, because I mean,
Yes.
if you because we're all energy beings, right? We all have energy, and it's an energy exchange left and right. Now with I don't know, 7,000, 2,000, 2,700, however many religions are in the world, a bunch, but don't worry, yours is the right one. So
Uh,
like, I think we all pray to the same God. Everybody's
yes.
praying to the same God, and it doesn't matter who it is. It's an energy exchange, right? Like love. You can feel love. When you're loved, you can feel it. I mean, it vibrates your souls. I mean, it vibrates your cells on a different
That's
level.
the meaning of life.
Yeah. So when you start looking at life like energy, the energy fields around you and the energy exchange is real in between you and me and between you and anybody. You can feel bad energy, good energy. As weird as this sounds. Okay, I didn't believe it at first either, and I didn't even buy the bullshit that was coming out of my mouth. But like, I believe it today because I know it to be true,
Yeah.
because I've seen it. 2 years ago, I was eating out of a trash can. Today, I own a company. I'm married happily, and I'm getting ready to build a house. All not on my accord. Not on my accord. None of
Yeah.
it had to do with me. None of
All,
it.
all glory to him.
Exactly.
Um,
And how does that happen? It defies all understanding, right? So, I mean, I look at it like this: we have cell phones everywhere. Everybody has a cell phone.
And yet,
Okay.
people
No,
are more depressed now than ever.
they are, but everybody has a cell phone, and everybody depends on that cell phone use. Now, you cannot see the the 5G waves coming in and out of your phone, but you know that if you're within that certain tower range, that you got cell signal and you're going to be able to connect to whoever you want to. Now, spirituality works the same way. I mean, if you don't pay your phone bill, you don't get no service. You have to go jack it off of Wi-Fi somewhere, McDonald's or
Mm.
at the hotel. So if you don't pay your spiritual bill, you don't get service to God. I mean, you have to go jack it off of somebody else. You know what I mean? You got to piggyback on somebody else's, energy, kind of.
I
So I mean,
think that's one of the things that leads to drug use, is sex addiction, pornography addiction, gambling addiction, you name the addiction.
yeah, and I've had all those. I really have. I've had all those addictions: methamphetamines, weed, alcohol. Not so much gambling, but I mean, I gambled with my life. Um, Cigarettes, you name it. And now it's the phone. I mean, so, but I mean, it's about learning positive coping mechanisms, because the addictions are not the problem; they're just a symptom of the greater problem that lies underneath, of unresolved traumas. I mean, let's face it, man. You get busted up in a car wreck like you did, that causes a lot of emotional shit going on in your head. There's a lot of trauma to deal with there. There's a lot of baggage to unclaim. There's a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, a lot of like, I don't even know what, because I've never been in your shoes, but I mean, I can only imagine. I know what I've been through. And to forgive yourself, man.
That's the first step in transformation, forgiving yourself and forgiving God. And when you embrace the fact that you're here for a reason, God, Jesus, your higher power, whatever that is, like the flying spaghetti monster. I mean that in a sarcastic way, of course, but you start making progress.
You do, and it doesn't matter if you're praying to God or a talking walnut or whatever, however you want to picture God. Now, that people are going to get mad at me because the Judeo-Christian mannerism is a white bearded God that sits on a throne, and that's just not it. As weird as it sounds,
Mm.
that's just not how I see it. However,
No,
don't
that's
shoot.
not now. I
That's
see
it's
it
not,
either.
you know, um, like so I host another podcast, a comedy show called Strokes of Humor with Joy Towner and Junior Hernandez, two of my stroke friends. They both had hemorrhagic strokes and they're both survivors of that. And
Uh,
we're going on episode number 43 or 44. It's a half-hour show. And basically what we do is just talk shit about recovery and the
yeah.
problems that we face from three different perspectives: a black girl, a Puerto Rican guy, and a white guy. Three different age brackets, and all of us have a different perspective on being disabled or handicapable or not disabled, however you want to see it. Each has a different
Yeah.
level of disability, or it
Right.
depends. See, I don't like the word disability either, because is it really a disability when you can find your fucking superpower? It's only a disability if you allow that to become your disability. It
Exactly. There should be a distinction between the word disability and the word disability because the disability community is super capable of anything given an appropriate accommodation. I mean, I can do anything I put my mind to.
except maybe so baseballs, but I mean that's neither here nor there. You know what I mean? If that's what you,
Oh, I
I'm not
can
just
come
kidding.
up with a machine to do that.
Okay, so I'm kind of an asshole sometimes, but I'm, you know what I
Eh,
mean? Like I'll just call it like I see it, and that's why they kind of like me in that show, because I just don't give a shit. I'll just say what I think. I don't really have a filter, which is not a problem for me, but some of the people around me, maybe it's a little bit of a problem. Maybe sometime. Maybe sometime.
it sounds like their problem, not yours.
Right? There's a problem with that. Not my problem.
Mm,
But my mouth has written some checks that my body hasn't been able to cash a few times, and luckily I'll just tap dance my way out of it,
yeah.
mostly unscathed. But for the most part, I mean, I really try. Um, Actually, but I'm backed out of a lot of the groups and helping people to focus on um, starting this company and building it up and making it work for the betterment, because I mean I do offer. I mean, I am a handyman. I mean, I have like 27 years of construction service, and I started the handyman business to help out seniors and disabled people, the people that really need the help that can't afford it.
Yes.
So
Side
when it
note here, the Mighty Miracleman rehab and training offers something similar to veterans and fellow disabled people. So ask about it in the comments.
when it came time to and my business model, I'm not getting rich by a long shot, not getting rich, but I'm staying busy. But I mean, I've done a lot of work for and I'm in Asheville, North Carolina now, and I'm originally from Los Angeles. And but I offer almost cheap to free labor for senior citizens, and otherly abled people that can't otherwise do something, because there's nothing worse than having been able to do something and then have it taken from you. And I've had both. Okay. So both of my
Yeah.
hips were collapsed. I couldn't walk a year ago because my hips were collapsed due to avascular necrosis. Now,
Mm.
because my hips were collapsed, I just had them replaced at the beginning of the year, both of them.
Yeah.
So I've had 2 hip transplants or 2 hip replacements. So and now that I can walk again and I got my life back, and I decided, a few years back that, I mean, it's a life of service. We have to,
I love that. That's what life should be about.
and if you're serving and if your frequency is right and you're serving the right, and you have the right motives, and you change your frequency to align with the frequencies of this universe, there's no stopping you. I mean, you can't slow it down. You can't, I mean, if it's what if it's what God hasn't planned for you, then you know what I mean. You can't slow it down. You can circumvent it for a while, but if you align your thoughts and your processes with something bigger than yourself, it snowballs out of control. Let me tell you. I mean, you never get more than you can handle. It's just an amazing adventure. And I
Mm.
wish more people. I try to get more people to catch on and to listen and to try. I mean, I really try, and it's really disheartening on this side. A lot of my friends that are stroke survivors want to become life coaches because we've been through so much shit. Okay, we've been through a lot of shit. We've lost everything. We've gained it back.
Exactly.
And so I obviously didn't know you before the accident. I've never met you until today, till right now. I've never seen you. I just seen
Yeah.
you on Facebook and see each other coming and going. And you said, "Hey, you want to be on my podcast?" So what did I say? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Yes, man.
Yes, man. And I wish more people would adopt that kind of attitude. I mean, this world would be a better place. Do you want to love somebody? Yes. Do you want to be caring? Yes. I mean, do you want to? Yes, 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 yes. And it's taken me on so many adventures. I've been around the world. Now, I mean, I was around the world before. I'm a former Marine too, from 1993. So I'm a vet.
Hoorah.
Uh, so I am a vet, and I mean, so maybe that's where it's a little bit different. Maybe that drive comes a little bit differently when it's ingrained in you early on. I don't know. I do work with other vets, Wade Adams being one. Do you know Wade?
I
Have you ever met Wade?
don't wait. I'd love to connect though.
Oh, I'll connect you with him for sure. For sure. 23-year
Yeah.
Army vet. One of my best friends. I mean, when I traveled across country first, I basically got rid of my life in California, packed everything up into one suitcase 2 years ago, threw it in the back of my wife's car now, and drove across country and gave up my whole life and started over.
But
20.
sometimes that's what you got to do.
I left my daughter, my family, everybody back there. My daughter's 24. No, sometimes that's exactly what you need to do. If it scares you, and if
Do
it's
it.
scary, do it. And the scarier, the better, because the reward, oh, fuck, man, the reward, you just, yes, yes. I mean, if you're not failing, you're not trying. I mean, the only failure for me is not trying. And when I started this business, same thing. I came up with a million and one reasons why I couldn't go to do the job. Somebody would
Yeah.
call me and be like, "Oh, I don't have this tool. I don't have that. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that." You know what I mean? I had so many. I don't want. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't fucking wanna. Like
Ah.
like a little kid. And then my wife said, "Hey, put on your big boy panties. Go out there, and you're gonna do that."
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, then I changed my mind. I totally changed my mind at that time. And I said, okay, I don't care what comes down the pipe. I'm just going to go say, yes, I can do it. I'll go check it out. If I can't do it, I'll tell you when I get there. You know, and I have yet to find one job that I've been on that I haven't been able to do. I mean,
Yeah. People
so
underestimate us all the time.
we underestimate ourselves. But I
I
mean,
agree.
I think that's a problem with, not a problem, but I mean, I think it's, let me rephrase it. How should I phrase it? I think that's a common theme with people of intellect versus people with less intellect. Okay. People with a higher intellect undervalue themselves and undershoot themselves every time because they're always questioning what they're going to do. The people with not as high of an intellect are cocksure and always get the, you know, I mean, they know exactly what they're doing now. I can do that. Yep, I can do that. I can do that. And they end up fucking you and fucking themselves every time. Every
There's
time.
a difference between cocky and confident.
Yeah,
Confidence is earned. Cockiness just wants to show off.
I toe the line.
Mm.
No, I mean a lot, and it's hard. See, a lot of people consider they back that up. They say, "What's the conceit?" You know what I mean? You're conceited, or you cocky, or are you? You know what I mean? And I'm coming into my own. I mean, I know I'm amazing. I know you're amazing. We do amazing things every day. Just that we get up and we do amazing things. So now when I look at myself and I say, "Hey, you're an amazing guy." I mean, where I've come from and where we've come from, and your story and where you come from and to where you are now is purely amazing. I mean, that's just the resilience of the human spirit, you know what I mean? And the so you know, just the drive that drives some people. Like they're everybody's an amazing story. That's the thing. But some people aren't brave enough to go in and find it and speak their truth because they're too
Exactly.
busy. They're too busy looking in the rearview mirror when the windshield is so fucking big.
Right?
You know, that's why the windshield's so big and the rearview mirror is so little.
Mm.
Because you look out the front window
Good
and then just
point.
glance at the back. But I mean, you know, that's the problem is acceptance. People can't accept the change, and we change every day, man.
Exactly. Just because you knew me yesterday, today, no, you don't. I've
Somebody different,
changed.
somebody new. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at right now. That's my biggest thing when I talk to people. I've interviewed to be on the Human Library, to be published as a book in the Human Library, and I judge someone. That's going to be fun. Yeah. I mean, I just want everybody to live a kick-ass, authentic life.
I
Having been,
agree.
and that doesn't mean, you know, that doesn't mean whatever that means for you. You have to be humbled no matter where you're at, and you'll be given more. So, like, if you can be happy with where you're at with what you got, then you can be. See, happiness is not found outside.
Mm.
Happiness is right here in between your two ears. You know what I mean? And it's that place in your head that you have to find to make that happiness work. And I mean, whether you adopt different coping strategies or different things. Personally, for me to find a lot of happiness, I've adopted the Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz, which, you know, really helped me make a few things. You can read Eckhart Tolle, you know, The Power of Now and Living in the Moment. This is great. But the Four Agreements really shaped the way I think, you know, that's don't take anything personally. Don't make assumptions. Always do your best, you know, and be impeccable with your word. Those are four agreements. Don't make assumptions. always do your best. Be impeccable with your word, and don't take anything personally. Because I would take things personally. Like if my wife's a big shot, whatever she does, she's I don't even know what she does, but you know what I mean. She works for a big somewhere or some kind of company where she does something big, bigger than me.
Software or something.
She's a technical director at a
Regardless,
marketing firm.
that's cool.
So, I would take it personally if she, and I used to take it personally. I mean, this is just one instance where I was just like, hey, she's not, people don't text me back or leave you on red or, you know what I mean, or leave you on delivered. And well, as soon as I stopped taking any of that shit personally, just be like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I got my own thing, and learning to be comfortable in my own skin because apparently it's illegal to wear somebody else's. You know,
Yeah.
um, like that's where it all starts, man. Is the acceptance and learning to love yourself, and learning when you love yourself, you don't depend on anybody to love you. It doesn't matter. Like any, so then you don't
Exactly.
take shit personally. You're just like, oh, all right, well, Rocky didn't want to come to the show. F him. You know what I mean? It's got no bearing on me. I'm just gonna go around being happy. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
does that make sense, or am I like?
And that makes total sense. That's kind of how I view life. Like everything's a bonus to me. If I woke up that morning, great bonus day. We're not promised tomorrow.
We are not promised tomorrow for sure. Nobody's promised. You know, I mean, that's the old mantra. That's why it's called the present, because it's a gift, and that's why it's a gift because it's called the present. You know what I mean? But there's only 2 days in the year that you can do nothing about, and that's yesterday and tomorrow. You know,
Mm.
so right now,
Now
this
is,
time, right
yeah,
now that me and you are spending together is now. Hear me out. This is the most important time of our lives because look, we're never getting this time back.
mhm.
This is our most precious commodity. I've decided to share it with you. You've decided to share it with me. And that's a beautiful thing, no matter what happens.
I think that right there would be perfect advice for the audience.
Well, then, audience, take that as advice because we live in the moment. And if you live in the moment and you seize that moment every day, you're not worried about what's going to happen tomorrow. You're not worried about what happened yesterday. Just worry about what's in front of you right now. And
And
life gets good. Life gets really good. I can tell you. I mean, I've had depression, tried to commit suicide. I wanted to die. I tried to kill myself. I tried to have another stroke.
I
I
have to all of that, but something changes once you change your mindset.
absolutely, totally, totally. It's amazing the snowball effect. I'm not saying every day is peaches and
Mm.
creams and you know what I mean, amusement parks and good times. I mean, you're still gonna have mood swings. You're still people, but if you can learn when you get emotionally hijacked, getting out of fight or flight mode is kind of
That's
a big deal.
probably the most useful thing in figuring out how to get out of that fight or flight mode.
And it takes pretty much about 30, I want to say 30 to 45 days before you can start rewiring your brain like that. But I mean, you have to change your way you think one thought at a time. Doesn't happen overnight. Oh no, 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 it doesn't.
No,
And then it keeps
but
going and keeps
not
going.
time here. But I want to thank you and continue talking with you. Unfortunately, with free Zoom of 40 minutes is the time limit.
Yeah, no, I use free Zoom all the time. I really do want to thank you for allowing me to be here and talk with you today, man. I mean, I hope beyond this that we can just establish a better friendship, you and I, man,
I
because
think
I
that
think we could
would
do
be
big things.
wonderful. Mm. And like I think we're both go-getters. We don't let anyone or anything stand in our way.
Which reminds me, this song, "Ain't No Stopping Us Now" by Whitehead McFadden. You're gonna have to check it out. It's a '70s disco song. It's amazing, man. It's kind of like a theme song to my life now.
That's awesome.
I mean, I have many theme songs, but so I really, really do appreciate the time that we got to spend to get together, man. And it's been an awesome experience, man. Getting to meet you. You're a rock star, dude, and what you do. Uh, like, I'm just impressed by your whole story, man. I was taken aback. I was telling my wife about it. Like, dude, 1%ers, dude, and you are the man.
Mm,
You are out there
you
killing
are
that shit.
too.
I
But
know,
I
but I'm
want
not
to
going to toot
say
my own
thank
horn.
you before we got off here.
No, thanks for having me, man. I really, really do appreciate it.
Okay, it's going past 40, okay? We'll
Well,
just
whatever.
keep talking.
Let it roll.
Yeah.
Damn. Just let it run. I mean, we'll get caught off in the middle of a sentence somewhere. But see, that's the universal timing. Check it out. Usually it cuts off at 40 minutes, but if Jesus wants us to talk about it, then we're going to keep talking about it. I'm not
Exactly.
going to force it. You can't argue with the fucking universe when it comes to this. You can't.
It's right. Mm.
I mean, you can.
But
You
it
can, or
doesn't often work in your favor.
never does. You'd
Mm.
still be strapped to a table somewhere in traction. You know what I mean? But no, look at you, a walking, talking gangster.
Miracle. The mighty miracle man.
And what can you say? So, how's that changed your life? I have a question for you. How how is your mindset now versus before your accident?
Zoom cut us off, so I came back on to tell you exactly how that my mindset has changed. And before the accident, I was a go-getter and super into fitness and everything. If I wanted it, I took it. I was class salutatorian and everything with the world as my oyster. But after, I felt like my life was over with the brain injury. But then I made a mind shift and decided, hey, you know what? And tomorrow's not promised. Let's see what today brings. I forgave myself, forgave God, and then I started making progress along with redox signaling molecules that aided me in that. And now I'm a walking, talking miracle. Live longer, feel better, and add life to your years.